Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Honored to be connecting in with you. And today we're going to be talking about how do we visualize, bring forward a better world? How can we be part of that? How can we see it, visualize it, take steps to bring it forward? I think so often we can see maybe things we don't like, or we see things that we want to have shift or be a little bit different. And I think it's so powerful when we can come together and actually visualize how we want the world to be. We can see that and we can start taking steps to bring that forward. And so today we're going to be talking about visualizing a better world, bringing a better world forward. How can we see that? How can we do that? How can we become part of that? So what we're visualizing, what we're wanting to see, what we're hoping becomes, we can actually be a part of bringing forward. And I think that's exciting. So I want to welcome everyone today. I hope that you're leaning in with excitement and anticipation for the conversation that we'll be having today. And I hope that you are feeling an uplift in your spirit and connection and sinking into this idea that we can visualize and actually bring forward a better world. We can be part of that conversation. We can lean in and make a difference. And I want you to get the most out of our time together so that you can really feel that pour into you, that you get to have a time today where you get to be still, to listen, to receive, and be poured into. So let's take a moment and connect in. Take a breath. In through the nose, all the way to your toes, out through your mouth, like through a straw. So beautiful to remember to take those deep breaths, to connect in. And I invite you, as you're breathing and slowing down a little bit and connecting in, to choose to be fully present. Choose to be open to receive what is here for you. Because I know there is something here for you today by the very nature of you leaning in, of you tuning in, and I want you to receive everything that is supportive of you. So being present, being willing and open to receive, slowing down, taking those breaths helps bring us present, lowers our stress levels, our cortisol levels, brings beautiful oxygen as you keep breathing to every cell in your body, creating room and space. As you breathe out, you're releasing what no longer serves, appreciating it as it leaves, and then breathing in more, creating room and space for all that serves and can be poured into you. In fact, I encourage you, let's take a moment and close our eyes as we're breathing and connecting in. And claim this time as yours. Put both hands on your heart. As you feel that beat, I want you to think about, what is it that you need today? As we opened talking about visualizing a better world, getting to be part of bringing that forward, what is it that's bubbling up in you that you need to support, encourage, and empower you to bring forward, to visualize a better world, to be part of that? What is it you need today to support you, encourage you, empower you? What is it that you need real time that you are willing to receive because you have choice? See if that shifts the information a little bit that you're receiving. What is it that you need and are willing to receive? Beautiful. Take that information in. Let's take another breath. Open up our eyes, become fully present, and take a moment and write down what was laid on your heart that you need and are willing to receive. And here's what's beautiful about this. As you're writing that down, you're getting it out of swirling inside of you and bringing it forward, making it real. You get to interact with it. It helps you keep it top of mind. It helps you remember, so you're open to receive what it is that you said, and you can recognize it when it's in front of you. Instead of getting distracted, you can see and receive. And the beautiful thing about this is we're just asking to identify. You don't have to figure out the how. How beautiful is that? You just need to be willing and open and on the lookout. And in fact, you're looking forward to being surprised and amazed at the wonderful way this need is met as you lean in and are open to receiving that support in those next steps. Beautiful. I'm going to go around our virtual room here and ask our amazing guest, Gary, when he had a moment to stop, pause, and listen, what was laid on his heart? So with that, Gary, I'd love for you to take a moment and share when you just felt in, what was laid on your heart?
I would have to say world peace. Everything that is going on right now on our planet, my heart keeps going to world peace and what it needs to, what we need in our hearts and imagination to bring that about.
I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that as that's coming to you and you're visualizing that and seeing that it comes to your heart and your imagination, that's where that hits and starts for you and wanting to bring forward. Just beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Bet.
Absolutely. Yeah. And listeners, how about you? When you felt in and you're visualizing a better world and you're thinking about what it is that you need, what is coming to your heart, to your mind, your spirit? Where are you feeling it, seeing it, wanting it? As we go to our first commercial break, I want to encourage you to stay present and receive the information that is coming through. The insights, the downloads, the thoughts, the reminders. Choose to stay present. Give yourself the gift of these 2 minutes and receive everything that is coming through to you. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. That opportunity to slow down just a little bit so we can become present and listen. Sometimes we're so busy, we miss those insights, we miss those things that are within us or around us because we're so busy in movement and crossing things off the list and doing. So I'm inviting you today to receive, to give yourself the gift of those moments in time. We've built them in throughout the show. They're secretly disguised as commercial breaks, but in reality, they are 2-minute moments for you. They're an opportunity for you to process what's being shared, to receive, to integrate it on a cellular level so it doesn't become another thing on the to-do list, but something that is becoming part of you as you step forward and go back out in the world. So welcome back. We're excited to be talking about making the world a better place, visualizing that, seeing that, bringing that forward. How can we be part of creating the world that we want to see? I'm thrilled to more formally introduce you to our amazing guest. You got to hear from him on a heart level in the opening segment. His name is Gary Lee Price. He is an internationally renowned master sculptor who creates sculptures to lift the human spirit. His public and private collections can be found around the world. In 2014, he became a fellow of the National Sculpture Society. Gary and his lovely wife, Lisa, have 9 children and 16 grandchildren and currently reside in Arizona in the United States. He's getting ready to release his first book in May. We're going to get to talk with him a little bit about that. And he is passionate about lifting the human spirit and making the world a better place. Please lean in and warmly welcome the wonderful and dynamic Gary Lee Price to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. Honored to be here with you and your guests.
You are so welcome and thrilled to have you joining us. And I wanted to start our conversation in looking at why. Why is this work of sculpturing and bringing forward these amazing pieces to lift the human spirit, why is that personally so important to you?
That's a beautiful question. And, you know, being a full-time sculptor now for 40 plus years, I'm reminded over and over and over again how powerful the visual world is and how so many things we become desensitized and we get so used to what is around us that we become blurred. Our vision is blurred as to, you know, what reality is. We just get used to everything. And so I think that we don't fully realize how important our environment is. What we surround ourselves with, what we walk around, what we let into our path, our visual path, because it affects us. Sometimes we don't realize it, just like we don't realize how much our subconscious is working, but it does, and it's important what we put in front of us.
Absolutely. I love that. You're absolutely right. We sometimes get desensitized or just don't even pay attention. We're just kind of doing and not even aware. And yet our environment, what's around us, what we see, we are taking it in, even if it's not registering. We are taking it in.
Exactly.
And so anything you would add to that as we're kind of sinking into that truth that what is around us, what we see, and even what we feel in that is affecting us and is really important. So do you have any tips or advice around that that you would encourage people to have in their space or create in their space to support them?
Absolutely. I keep referring to this quote by Albert Einstein. It's, "Science will take you from A to Z. Imagination will take you everywhere." And the fact that if we can keep our minds active, of course we're all walking, breathing, living miracles, and we're computers, and the data we put in comes out. If we can keep putting in these beautiful visuals of, I keep going back to world peace. I do pieces that children releasing doves, children flying around the world holding hands, people reaching out, sharing things. These visuals impact our lives, and they're fertile ground for our imagination.
Yes. Beautiful. One of the things I love about your work and your sculptures is the energy that you see, the movement that's in them, that there's a life and an energy that does inspire visualizing. It does inspire the imagination. It's like you can feel your art. And I love that about the work that you do.
Thank you. I will just insert here. The reason that energy comes out, and everything's about energy, right? It all boils to vibration and movement, and that I sculpt from live models. And I don't know exactly how it works, but my children, anything I sculpt, I try to get a live model, whether I'm sculpting an eagle, a child on a pogo stick, a model for Mark Twain. Somehow that energy of that live person flows into that final bronze sculpture. It's just awesome how that works.
I love it. Thank you for sharing, and what a gift to capture that energy and to have it for so many years to come that people can see and experience and be enriched by it. I love that you bring that to the world. And I know that you are getting ready to release your book. You've been working on this for a while. I'm very excited about it. It's coming out in May, so everyone listen in as we share some details so you can be first to know. But I'd love for you to start with why. Why did you feel led to create a book and to bring it forward?
It's actually long overdue. I've wanted to have something written for a long time. That is not my gift. My gift is being able to create with clay visuals that lift the human spirit. That's been my mantra forever. I started, a few years ago to write my memoirs and a bunch of thoughts, and I think I came up with about 5 pages. And that was about it. And so I realized, okay, and I love the principle of synergy. You surround yourself with people that are much more capable than ourselves. And so it was just time. A co-author came into my life at a perfect time, and now these memoirs are coming out May 12th. So it's been a fun process.
I'm so glad, and I love that you found that team and partner to help bring it forward, expand it from the 5 pages to so much more. And when you think back on the journey and some of what you share in your book, what are some of the things that you hope people discover and learn and take away by leaning in and reading some of your life and your journey?
Absolutely. Well, I think the first step was coming up with the title, and that was Divine Turbulence. We all have turbulence in our lives, and I, for whatever reason, have had a large amount of turbulence throughout my life, starting very early when I was, just a few years old. Murder, suicide, different things happened. And so bottom line, I feel like I want to be vulnerable enough to share those experiences so that people can realize that we can rise above the crazy stuff that happens to us at one time or another, many, many times.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. And I know I had the opportunity to read an advanced copy of your book, and I was captured right in the beginning and just pulled in and deeply impacted by what you share so authentically and intimately with the reader, and what you came through and now are in this place where you're creating such beauty in the world and lifting up so many hearts and lives through so much of the work that you're doing, and even movements that you are bringing into the world and bringing forward. It's an amazing story to be stretched, to be encouraged, to be inspired, and to feel your heart and spirit quicken and care deeply about things that are happening in the world, and that we can choose our perspective and we can bring beauty and rise above. So I want to thank you for the amazing book and your willingness to share your journey so authentically, and what you've discovered and what you've leaned into bringing into the world. Is there anything you would add to that? Because I know you've had the opportunity, as people have gotten some advanced copies, you've gotten some feedback, and the reviews have been amazing so far. Anything you want to share as you're kind of reflecting on the journey and you're starting to receive that response?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm moved by the fact that when we share incredible experiences, it helps us realize that we're all, I like to say, we're all in the same boat going down the same river. And when we allow ourselves to put down the walls, the facades, the fences, all that stuff, and when we share, my gosh, it's a uniting power, and then we're there for each other.
Yes,
it's no longer, hey, I'm this cool and you're not, or whatever. It's hey, let's come together, let's do this together, and let's help each other out. Let's reach down. Exactly. Oftentimes we're the hand reaching up, we need some help. Oftentimes we're the hand reaching down that we can provide that assistance for somebody. Beautiful. But we got to share. We got to be real. We got to be honest with each other.
Thank you for sharing. That is so, so true. And I love that visual of the hand reaching up and the hand reaching down. And I know we're going to talk a little bit more about that too. So everyone, that's a preview of something to come that we're excited to share about as well. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about the book, and I wanted to just make sure everyone heard the launch date of May 12th. Everyone has that on their calendar. And what's really special about that launch day is it's going to be available at a special rate for the first 24, possibly 48 hours at $1.99. What an amazing opportunity to lean in, add that to your library, share it out with friends, that you can add this amazing book to your library and be inspired and empowered on your journey. So I encourage you to write that date, be watching in social media as we share that out. We're honored to be part of the team that gets to help spread the word. So we want to make sure you know about it. You heard about it here first. Put that date on your calendar. We'll have some ways at the end of the show that you can get on a list so you don't miss anything having to do with the book and it coming forward. But one of the things Gary has shared is his gift in working with clay and sculptures and design, and really bringing those visual things and the energy of them forward. And so I wanted to give him a moment to describe in his words the cover, the energy of it, what it looks like, what it feels like, and why it's designed the way it is. So Gary, can you describe the cover to us?
Oh man, I love the cover. Once again, being a visual person, the cover was extremely important to me. And it's the cover is light. It's the contrast. It's light and dark. It's the clouds, the turbulence, the void, if you will, and then these rays of light are popping through, and then I love the way the title, Divine Turbulence, stands out, and then the phrase underneath it, navigating the amorphous winds of life. It's just, I don't know. I'm so pleased with the cover. It's exciting because that's a very important component to me.
Absolutely. Thank you for describing it. I love how the light shines through, and that to me speaks so much of your story and the journey that you went on. And then there's something special on the back cover. Do you mind sharing about that as well?
Absolutely. It's an angel. It's entitled The Messenger. I believe in guardian angels. I believe there is an unseen world that is just so much closer than we think. And those unseen forces, whatever they are, gift us with many, many gifts. Years ago, I sculpted this angel that is depicted on the back cover. It's my mother, and she has her hands out, open, and she is gifting us, exactly what we need when we need it. I believe we all have guardian angels, and so she is entitled The Messenger, and she's a integral part of this whole story. Of course she is. She gave me life. She was my messenger and continues to be.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Gary. I so appreciate it, and wanted to give just a little bit of a taste and flavor to our listeners because they're listening, and I wanted them to have a visual that they could also see and experience and connect. And I love the message of the messenger as well. And it's so wonderful that you're including that in your cover design and that people get to carry that with them and remind themselves that they're not alone and that they are supported in the journey. Well, we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do that, listeners, I want you to think about what Gary has shared. What are some of the messages perhaps you're receiving? Some of the insights? Are you remembering that we're all on the boat together? And sometimes we are getting to extend our hand down and help. Others times we're reaching our hand up and getting help. So kind of where are we in that? Are we open to supporting each other on the journey? What sort of tools and tips and insights are going to support you on your journey? And how can we stretch that just a little bit more to continue to add those things in that serve and support? I want to encourage you to consider adding this powerful book into those tools and resources to support you on your journey. I know it deeply impacted me, and I believe it will deeply impact you and remind you of some of these really important things that Gary's sharing with us. So enjoy these 2 minutes, and we'll look forward to continuing our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message. It's time to serve, learn, change the world. Tune in each week for the power of young people to change the world. Hosted by NYLC's CEO, Amy Mewers. The program is a forum for both young people and the adults who love and support them. We make connections with others through stories of change, partnership, and new perspectives of issues facing the world today. Be sure to join us every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Time, or anytime on demand on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. They had an opportunity to pause, breathe, and receive all that serves. We were talking with the amazing Gary Lee Price, and he's sharing about his upcoming book, Divine Turbulence, that will be released on May 12th. So I hope everyone has marked that on the calendar. And I wanted to just give a little bit of a taste of some of the turbulence that Gary has gone through that you're going to see has not only experienced but come through in this book. And I think so much of his range of experiences has lended itself to the beauty, the emotion, the energy, the range of emotions he can capture in his artwork. Like, it's been harnessed and is captured so powerfully in all the work that he does. And so, Gary, I know we talked just a little bit. You hinted at a couple of things in your book about, in your early years, murder, suicide, or some of the things that you have come through. And I wanted to see if you could just give our listeners, our audience, just a feel of some of the subject matters that you cover and some of those turbulent moments, and some stretched on for many, many years that you faced and have come through.
Absolutely, Rebecca. And I have to prerequisite by saying that years ago I was sick in bed and I happened to be watching TV, and I watched an Oprah Winfrey show. Mm-hmm. She was the one that gave me courage to share the crazy stuff of my life. When I watched what she was willing to openly share, it's like, my goodness, it's okay to talk about this stuff. I don't have to repress it. I don't just have to keep it inside. Because when we repress things, it's going to come out sooner or later. And so I'm so grateful to Oprah and that show that I was able to watch. It gave me courage to talk about, when I was 6 years old. I was there when my mom was killed. A stepfather, military. This happened in Germany. And they had an argument. He went off base, went and grabbed his gun, came back and shot my mom 3 times. I ran out of my bedroom, heard the noise, and there was my mom lying in a pool of blood. Ran by as he shot himself. It was just, of course, a horrible tragedy. And August 6, 1961, in Heidelberg, Germany, was flown to America in a very abusive relationship for the next 7 years from a family member. So many things that happened that somehow I came to this planet with a very optimistic view of life. And I've always, for whatever reason, been able to see the positive in things. I look back on my life now, Rebecca, and realize that it was all okay. In fact, even on a lot of levels good, because I love who I am now. I love what has been created out of that tragedy. That's why we talk about navigating the amorphous winds of life. You know, crazy stuff happens. And what do we do with it? Does it define us? Or do we rise above it and create goodness out of that? You know, the old cliche, make lemonade out of lemons. So, and then what's interesting to me is that it climaxes with this project that we're working on, a 300-foot monument on the West Coast to bookend the Statue of Liberty. I mean, you know, I just look at all this crazy stuff that's happened, and it's happening for a reason. I believe in divine orchestration. Each and every one of us, we can look at our lives and we can connect the dots. And the older we get, the more we can connect them and go, oh, this happened for a reason. Oh, I met so-and-so, and that led to this, and then that. And we literally can create our lives by rising above crazy, if you will.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I so appreciate that. And what important reminders that we can rise above the craziness and we can choose our perspective and what we bring forward, and good can come out of really challenging and horrible circumstances, that we can rise above that. I love that. And in your book, you also have a series of pictures that take people on the journey too. So for the visual listeners, you also get to experience that in the book as well. So I feel like it's just such a rich experience, very impactful for anyone that leans in. And one of the things you mentioned is the book ending of the Statue of Liberty, and that's a project that you're working on now. And I'd love for you to share what is on your heart to share around that, so that there are things that our listeners can be watching for and supporting.
Absolutely. Well, there was this really cool dude. His name was Viktor Frankl. And guess what? He was a Holocaust survivor. He also had a prison. You know, I had a prison for years. Viktor Frankl was in the Holocaust prisons. Somehow we, through the ethers of time, we came together. He had a vision, okay, bookend the Statue of Liberty on the East Coast with a Statue of Responsibility on the West Coast. That was his vision. And somehow, through this beautiful divine orchestration, I was commissioned to create that visual. And that's the project that we're going towards. And it does happen to be two hands connected, one reaching down, one reaching up. And to me, that represents responsibility. To be responsible, we are there for each other. We're there for ourselves. These two hands are a right and a left hand. We can create that hand clasp right in front of ourselves by clasping our own hands. Responsibility starts from us and goes outward. And that's the journey that we're on right now. It's a beautiful journey. It's awesome.
So exciting. And I love that pairing freedom with responsibility and those amazing visuals coming together to support and do that. And then your book coming out, which takes people on a journey showing that we can rise above the craziness and really bring our brilliance to the world and choose our perspective. And it is possible, and there is hope, and there is beauty, and there is wonder. And that reminder that we're not alone on the journey is divinely orchestrated, and we have that support. Oh, as we're reflecting on all of that and we're thinking about visualizing a better world, making the world a better place, do you have a tip or a piece of advice for our listeners today of something they can do to make the world a better place?
Ooh, that's a powerful question. And a great opportunity for me to share something that I believe is very, very powerful, and that is listen to our heart. Listen to our heart of hearts. You know, I love what you said at the beginning of this program about the fact that we are so busy. We're so multitasking. We're trying to get so much done. You know, we've got our families, our kids, our relatives, our friends, our neighbors. We all want world peace. And so many times we forget to listen to our heart and just slow down enough to go, okay, what do I need to do now? What is the best thing? Not what's best for everybody else. What's best for me? Because when we're right, then and only then can we do what's best for everybody else. And so I would my biggest tip would be, hey, you know, whether it's a walk in the woods, whether it's sit on your yoga mat, whether it's whatever it is, listen to your heart of hearts. It won't lead you astray. We know, because that's tapping into a beautiful divine power that's more than just us.
Beautiful. And in fact, I'd love us to take a couple moments and apply this beautiful piece of wisdom and advice, this tip that you've given us. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break, and I'd love for you to take these 2 minutes to slow down and listen to your heart. See what it is sharing, see what it is whispering to you. And with that, enjoy these next 2 minutes.
Voice America is on your favorite smart speaker. If you have Alexa or Google Home, go ahead and give us a try.
Hey Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast on TuneIn.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. What an opportunity to listen to our hearts. And what did they share? What did they, beat by beat? What did you feel? What did you see? You have all of your senses. Maybe even you smelled something that reminded you of something. So what is it that you feel heard, discovered as he listened to your heart? I encourage you to write it down, capture it, interact with it. It's so important to give things space, room, and time and bring them into reality and start to engage with what's being laid on your heart. And I love how Gary reminded us that it's never going to steer you wrong, and to listen and what brings your heart joy, and to be filled up so that you can then in turn bring that to the world when we're our best, when we're able to be fully who we are, and those things that make us joyful, that encourage us, uplift us, then we can reach out in such a powerful way in the world and do so without being depleted or empty. And some of the things that Gary has shared today have really impacted me. So that reminder to listen to our heart, that it can never steer us wrong, that things are divinely orchestrated, that we can rise above the craziness, that we can lean in to being those hands clasped, reaching down, reaching up, and that we're on that journey together. And so I wanted to invite Gary to share a little bit more about the statue he was describing towards the end of our last segment, about the hands clasping, one reaching down, one reaching up, called the Statue of Responsibility. And there's some really powerful, special things going on with this. And Gary, I'd love for you to share a little bit more about the Statue of Responsibility, some of your vision for that, and what are some ways that we can get involved?
Absolutely. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that opportunity. A good sculpture, it's like an iceberg. You know, it's a visual. What's really important is what's underneath it. What's the provenance? What's the background of what that little symbol represents, that little sculpture? And years ago, starting out, I wanted to create a sculpture that represented some of the struggles that I had gone through in life. And I wanted it to depict some of the mentors that were there reaching down, lifting me, pulling me up the cliffs of life. And I ended up sculpting, I have Native American blood running through me, and I ended up sculpting two First Nation people. I believe that's what they call them today, Native Americans. One is reaching down, pulling another up a cliff. It was a wall hanging and, vertical up and down. It became very, very, very popular in the galleries. People would walk in the galleries and they'd see this piece and it would touch their hearts. Somehow I was able to create a piece that people, it touched their hearts. So then later, when I was asked by Stephen R. Covey to create Viktor Frankl's vision of a Statue of Responsibility, that visual came to mind. It's like, if you were to boil down that sculpture, it's those two hands making contact, gripping each other in a clasp of love, a clasp of friendship, and a clasp of assistance. And that's why I say, oftentimes we're the hand reaching up, oftentimes we're the hand reaching down, depending on where we're at in life. And so that became the design of the Statue of Responsibility, those two clasped hands. It's, I believe it's a simple visual, something that you cannot mistake what it is. And oftentimes less is more. Things don't need to be so complicated. Things can be very, very simplistic. And that's what I hope, that when this statue is erected, not only that one, but other ones around the planet, as reminders that, hey, that's what life's about. It's connecting. It's relationships. Yes. It's being there for each other.
Oh, I love it. And I feel like it also has this trust in each other as we are clasping together and joining in that way. Just so, so powerful. And our time is going so quickly, and I wanted to make sure we had an opportunity to share. How can people go deeper, connect with you, follow the Statue Project, be in the loop with things that are coming forward, including your beautiful book launch? What are the best ways for them to connect and go deeper?
You bet. Two things. We have a landing page for my book. It's called divineturbulence.com. And the profits from our book my memoirs, they go to the creation of the Statue of Responsibility. And that website is statueofresponsibility.com and .org. It's a 501c3, and we are in the process of creating that. We're in the process of finding land on the West Coast and making this a reality. Our goal is to have it done within the next 5 years. And so we're on that trajectory, that journey, and we would appreciate the support. It's a project that I believe will touch everybody's life.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that and taking the time today. I know when you're getting ready to bring a book forward, it's so busy, plus all of the projects and things that you're working on and bringing forward. So just a gift that you were able to spend time with us today and share. And listeners, I hope that you wrote down the contact information for Gary and the sites that you can lean into, connect, follow, and go deeper, and perhaps become part of the Statue of Responsibility and leaning into helping bring that forward. His book is releasing, Divine Turbulence, on May 12th, so mark that on your calendar. That special rate of $1.99 to lean in and add this powerful book to your library. And we'd be so honored if you also leaned into helping us get the word out to reach as many hearts and lives around the world. I believe we all need encouragement, and those stories of people, real people, rising above the turbulence, really being able to step into their divine path and have that courage to do so. I think it's inspiring, and it's important to have that inspiration, encouragement, and real examples in our life. So we'd be so honored if you'd help us share it out. We're on a mission with that as well, to reach as many lives and hearts as possible. I also want to encourage you to take a few minutes today, just like we listen to our heart. Take a couple moments at the end of the show to reflect on what has touched your heart and your spirit. What is it as a result of today's show that you are going to be or do? Take a couple moments to drink that in on a cellular level. Don't let the day run you and suddenly it's in charge. Really remember your purpose. Remember what matters most to you. Remember that you can make the world a better place, and part of that is stepping more into who you truly are and allowing your heart to guide you. So take these 2 minutes for you. Take that time to transition and then mindfully, purposely step into the world, because you are a gift. You are absolutely needed, especially for such a time as this. Be willing to share the gift of who you are mindfully, powerfully, and purposely, so that you can bloom where you are planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone, and I'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.